What's up, Centurions? Welcome to week 2, the second and final week of the Centurion test drive experience. I got to tell you, I was blown away with last week. I expected this to be a pretty cool experience just because, hey, first time, never done this before. But you guys, all of you, totally exceeded my expectations for this. So that was really awesome. The comments to the different homework postings, the feedback, just in general, through chat messages, videos, stuff like that has been great. The way that you have adapted to Teams and streamlined this experience, so you went from kind of posting all over the place, and now it's just checking day 4 and 5, kind of rechecking them, and all of the replies for the homework are within those different posts. So excellent job. I can see that there's some growth going on. I can see that there's some brainstorming going on. A lot of cool ideas on Friday. There were several ideas with the channel tabs and the different ideas and the ways that you guys would put that to use within your departments, within your daily tasks, and in the classroom as well. Had a great example of an instructor using Canvas Studio. I think it was Heather, to maybe put it as a tab and embed a Canvas Studio video as a tab. I thought that was awesome. Suggestions for Quizlet, just a couple different educational approaches right there for the use of those tabs in Teams. Today we're going to dive in a little bit more. So you got kind of an understanding of the different features with the channels, getting an idea what the tabs can do, a general lay of the land. Now we're going to talk about actually creating your own teams. All of you have the ability to create your own teams in Teams. And there's actually 4 different types of teams that you can choose from. We'll get into that here in a second. Having the ability to manage and create your own team comes with just a small amount of know-how. You're going to have to know how to add members. You're going to have to know how to manage those members. Maybe you want to take some of those members of that team and make them into owners along with yourself. One thing to keep in mind is when you create a team, you are automatically the owner of that team. You get to decide what individuals are on the team, what their roles are. So you have total control. So that's pretty cool. It's very easy, like I said, to create a team. All you have to do is go to, if you're in this area right here, you can click on Join or Create a Team. If your view is List View, that button's right down here at the bottom. So we're just gonna do it right from here. Like I said, there's 4 different types of teams. So if we click on Join or Create Team, we can then see that there's teams that we can join, but we want to create a team. And when we do that, we'll see a list pop up. Now, in the supplemental information, I'm including a breakdown of this, but for the time being, there is, and this is the link right here that I'll share with you. It's going to show you the 4 different types of teams that you can create and what the different descriptions and capabilities and stuff like this is. Here's kind of it in a nutshell. I recommend for now that you just choose Other every time. There are some ins and outs with a class team, but since we have Canvas, this allows for you to create assignments and do a bunch of different classroom type stuff within the team. We have Canvas for that, so there's really no need for you to create a class team. Class team and staff team are very similar in that whoever creates the team is the owner, and most of the power and the privilege goes to those individuals in these 2 types of team. This one from an instructor standpoint, and this more like a building principal or administrator, something along those lines. These 2, the professional learning community and the Other team, this is for maybe I could see you using this if you were in your departments, instructional departments, because everyone has kind of the same abilities within the team, permissions, I should say. But really what it comes down to is just keeping things easy and simple. Choose Other. All right, so let's back on over to Teams. When it gives us the team type to choose, we choose Other. We can give it a team name. We're just going to call it Sample for Centurion Test Drive. And at this point, you have 2 options. You can give it a description. Well, not 2 options, two more steps. You do not have to give it a description, though. As far as privacy goes, if you want anybody to be able to join it, let me back out of here. Well, I'm not going to back out of here, but you see these ones behind here? Within our organization, which is MCC, these are the ones that were set up as public. Anybody can see these and join these teams. Okay, so there's a purpose for that. If you want to have an open enrollment or open lab type team, this might be something that you do where students can just go find it and hop into the team for maybe a tutoring session or something like that. In most cases, you're going to choose a private team, and then it won't show up here. Only those that you invite or give the class code to will be able to join it. More on the code, the team code here in a second. You're going to see a couple more options right down below here. One of those is to create a team using an existing team as a template. So maybe you ran a class before and you have a bunch of channels set up and you want to use that as a template. Not a bad idea. Maybe you have a project that you've already worked on in your department and you'd like to kind of duplicate that same framework. This might be another option where you put this to use. You can also create a team using a group setup by you or here at MCC. That's up to you to explore. But in most cases, you're going to skip both of these and just click next. And you're going to create your team from scratch. You can see right now it's generating. And now you have the option to start adding team members. Two different types of team members that you can add. You can add internal team members. Those are MCC users. Any student or MCC employee, when you start typing in a name, will show up here. Okay, so for example, my test user, Maryland student is an example of a test user, not an actual person or user, but it is in this person is in the student role. So you can see as I start typing names in, they start showing up. Okay, and that's an example. Makes it very easy for you to add individuals or the individuals you need to your team. You can also add external users. So if you have the email address of somebody that you would like to add, you can add somebody that is not a member of our institution to a team as well. Once you have added everyone that you want, you go ahead and click add, and they will be now a part of the team. If you decide that you want this individual to be an owner as well, or any of the others that you might have added, at this point you can click and choose to change that. Keep in mind that at any point in time, you can change others that you don't change at this point, or you can change these back. So we're going to go ahead and close that. And you can see our team has been created. You're not going to see it right here at the sidebar because it's probably all the way down at the bottom, and there it is. So very easy for us to take this team and drag it up if we want to. I will tell you that if you're trying to organize your teams, this list view is not the way to do it. You're going to want to switch your view to the grid view. I call it the dashboard because it looks like Canvas's dashboard. But this view makes it a lot easier to move these teams around. And I got to find, there it is. So there's the sample CTD that I just created. We can move that right up to the top with just a couple clicks. And just like that, we've organized our list as to our liking. Cool. So we've got our team created. Now a little bit about the team. So you're used to seeing a lot of other channels. When you create a team, you're just going to have the general channel. It's up to you to add more channels. And to add more channels, you're going to want to look for the menu dots, the horizontal menu dots. Do not confuse these with the channel menu dots. You can see that they showed up right here. If for some reason those menu dots aren't showing up, just hover over the name and you should see them. When you click on this, you're going to have a drop-down list with a lot of options. Okay, and a lot of these are pretty self-explanatory. And I really want to focus just for today on the manage team option. Now, I talked to you about being able to add members at a later time to change their roles. All of that can be done right from here. Check this out. So you add that, you click on add members, and just like that, you saw this box before, you can start adding more individuals. So our buddy test user Frodo, we're going to add that individual. We'll also go ahead and add, let's see if we can find Cedric, our other test user. There's Cedric. And we're going to add those two as well. We're going to have the option to change their role if we'd like. For this one, we're going to leave them as just plain old members. A couple things about these members. They're not going to show up in our list, so I'll show you more on that here in a second. But in order to view them, we just click on this down arrow, and we can then change their role if we want. Check out this tags tab or column. This is a great tool that is totally underutilized in teams by myself. So let me show you more on tags over in our Centurion test drive experience because we have more users in that group. So if I pop back over there and I go to manage team, you can see that we can manage tags in this drop-down area as well. But I'm going to keep in the manage team area, and you can see I have 48 guests here. So the cool thing about tags is it will allow me to create groups, communication groups. So if I'm talking to, or if I wanted to call attention to a group in a channel, like hey, group 1. Okay, now unfortunately there's not a group 1. Your project is due soon. All right. Now the cool thing, if I had these tags turned on, is that would give a notification to everybody that's in that group 1 tag. So I could add like 5 different team members or class members to that group 1 tag, and they'd all get a notification, a reminder. So instead of me having to type out individually to each one of those individuals, the tagging will keep track of it. So let's go back, and like I said, I can click on Manage Tags, or I can go to the Manage Team, and we can do it from the tag column here. So if I click on Dan here, and down below here is Manage Tags, and I can actually create a tag. We're going to use that group 1, and I can start adding just like if we were adding individuals to a class, but this time we're adding them to a tag. So go ahead and click Create. And you can see that we have 1 tag established. In this column, it's going to show the members that are a part of group 1. So I can go back to that post now. And when I do, hey, group 1, check this out. There's a tag available for it. So now when I post this, everybody's going to see it in the class, even if they're not in the tag. But those members that are actually tagged in this will make sure that they see it, because they're probably going to get a notification because they're tagged in it. Now, I know that we kind of sidetracked there a little bit, but that's an awesome tool available to you when you create your teams and when you're managing your teams. Okay, just a couple more quick items. Back to managing team. You also have the option to change your profile image or your team's image in the Manage Team area. You can see when I hover over it, I get that edit icon. And I can actually change the name of the team if I wanted to. And I can also choose a different avatar, okay? Or I can upload one of my own, which I chose to do here. If you regret making a private group, you can change it to a public group from here. So a lot of the things that you did setting it up aren't a huge deal, because you can always come back in and change it. Okay, we're going to get a listing of our different channels, and we can make some changes to the type of channels that we have. We're going to talk more about channels later this week. I know we've already discussed it, but there's even more cool things associated with them. There's more settings available, so you can adjust the team picture. You can change it from here as well. You can make member permissions more specific. And these are all things that you can dig into, and that's exactly what you have done in this class so far, so I'm sure that you're going to continue to do it. And you can just go through these different things on your own. One thing I do want to point out, though, is this team code. I mentioned that you can give users a code to join the team. This might be something if you don't want to have a public team, but maybe you want to open it up to students for office hours to add themselves whenever they feel the need. You can pass out this code. And when students, just like you were going to create a team, you notice that it says join or create a team. If I had this code, I could enter that code right there, and I could join the team. So it makes it very easy. You don't have to worry about adding members to the team. You just pass out that code to anybody that you want. So maybe some of you that have like high numbers of students in your class. For example, Ken had an online course where he combined a bunch of sections, ended up with 70 students. And we went through and added them manually. A better way to do it might have been to just pass out the code to the team and let those users enter that code right here on their own. And so there's a lot of different ways for you to get users accessing your team and putting it to use. Back to the managed channel or managed team, you can also play around and see who is active in your team. This dashboard, these analytics are great because you can see who's viewing it. And we got a lot of, obviously, activity going on in ours. File sharing, how many messages are being sent and when they're being sent. This isn't to like dive into like private data or anything like that, but you're just getting an idea of the activity that's going on within your team and how active those who are in your team are. So those are just some basics on creating a team, adding users to the team, managing the team. From this team area, you can also create new channels, but we've already gone over that. And you can add members. So if you don't want to go into the dashboard and find those specific things, a lot of the key items are here for you. Changing the team name, the tags, and just getting rid of the team if you don't want the team to exist anymore. So what do you got to do this week? Let's take a look. As far as your to-do list, it's pretty simple. All that I ask is that you go in and that you create a team. Okay, and I'd like you to stick with other, but maybe you have some ideas for the different team types. But I highly recommend that you just put other to use because it's kind of open to a lot of different uses. It's not going to be specific to a classroom or an instructional setting. I want you to add me to the team. And then I want you to add those 4 test users and really anybody else that you might want to add to your team. It's totally up to you. And then I want you to create 2 additional channels other than the general channel to the team. Change the role of one of the team members. So either myself or whoever else that you add, go ahead and after you've added them, change them to an owner. See if you can do that. And then go ahead. I'm going to have a prompt there. I just want to know how it went. Give me some feedback. Your feedback is so important as I move forward with this experience. If I offer it again, to get an idea of how that went for you, how easy it was. All of this should go pretty quick. It shouldn't take a lot of time, and hopefully you'll come away impressed with how easy the experience was or is. And then maybe just kind of give me some information on, do you see a time where you might add external users? And we've had a few. I believe that Michelle with her ag club has a few external users in that group. So just give me some feedback on that. Check out the supplemental resources. And if you have any questions, hit up the question and answer area or let me know. Other than that, happy Monday. Enjoy. And we'll finish strong this week, even though we're just getting started. Have a good one.